S2E24, welcome back to the library. I am the recorder, and today we'll take a quick look once more at the topic of celestial elements: void, temporsis, aether, and of course, crystal. In this entry, we will take a look at the ways these elements manifest physically within the realms, as well as how they can be utilized. As my perceptive patrons may remember, in an earlier entry, we discussed the basics of the celestial elements, as well as how they manifested in their contained energy forms. We further discussed in brief some of the possible uses for those energies, and how each lent a different set of enhancing qualities to those applications. The physical manifestations of the celestial elements similarly have their own set of qualities in both their natural and refined states, like aether and void, or in the complexity of its manifestation, as with temporsis. Starting with the celestial element of creation, aether, and its physical form of aethanite, which displays incredible energy absorption properties. In its raw, natural state, aethanite is capable of drawing over 75% or more of applied energies away with no effect. This makes it an excellent defensive material, as well as for scientific or scanning equipment, as it creates a vacuum of energy when properly focused, allowing for the detection of even very faint signals and readings within the area of vacuum, as energies are drawn in to be absorbed. In its refined form, aethanite's energy-absorbing properties are magnified by orders of magnitude. Samples of such refined material can draw beyond mere energies in contact or applied to them, but of ambient energies as well. This can see rooms reduced to sub-zero temperatures with enough time and an improperly secured sample. Furthermore, there are rumors that the refined form of aethanite is in some way able to be weaponized against the gods, as during the God Wars, both sides were known to make great efforts to secure or deny such materials to the other. However, there is no record as to what use it would have had, or how it would have been applied to that use. It should be noted, the energies absorbed are not conducted away to be used elsewhere, but to further grow the aethanite's mass on a near imperceptible level. In the raw form, its growth is magnitudes higher than after refinement, but it still takes inordinate amounts of energy to fuel even the smallest amount of growth. Moving on to quite the opposite side of the scale with the celestial force of entropy, void, and voitasa, its physical form. Unlike aethanite and its interaction with energy, voitasa is destructive to matter that is in contact with it. Raw voitasa must be shipped in containers that are rotated frequently, as to prevent spillages that could spell disaster if not caught quickly. It finds great use in certain forms of mining and other forms of demolition, as it can be used to great effect without the dangers of explosive demolition methods, with the material left behind sent off far safer, as the destructive effect of the voidnessa will be spread out so greatly as it reduces it to nothing more than more voidasa over many decades if not centuries. Refined voidasa can only be held safely within magical or other such energy fields, as it instantly destroys nearly any matter in direct contact with it. The only exception seems to be its raw form, and even in those cases, it still increases the raw material's potency by a significant amount. The pure destructive potential of refined voitasa sees it as one of the most highly restricted and blacklisted items in the realms, with only the most adept or powerful able to attain even a sample the size of a grain of sand. As with aethanite, the matter destroyed is in fact fuel for the propagation of more raw voitasa, with the rate of conversion analogous to its celestial opposite. This of course brings us to the celestial element of time, temporsis. Unlike the former two celestial forces, the manifestations of Temporsis do not propagate themselves, or have a passive effect on the area around them. Neither do they require special containment and keeping, except to secure them from the greedy. They are instead formed from the containment of the energies involved with paradoxes within the timelines of the realms, a subject that shall receive its own entry in future. The three known forms of physical Temporsis are named by their potency and power. Of the three, two are completely stable, while the third is stable only so long as it goes unused. Once used to affect any number of potential space or time magics, the dust of Temporsis will be consumed in the process. However, depending on the skill of the user, the effects can be dramatic, with jumps through time in the decades being possible. The shards of Temporsis appear as the name, a small shard of temporal matter. It allows for the manipulation of time and space, only slightly more potent than that of dust, but is stable and will not be harmed or consumed in the efforts. This also allows for the nearly unfettered ability to walk the paths of time, with even the unskilled able to hop their way backwards and forwards in smaller and larger spans, and this will see their skill grow, assuming they do not fall prey to those entities that seek out those that travel time without the proper protections. Whatever a shard is capable of, a full gem of Temporsis is able to do effortlessly and to a magnitude greater of effect. These are so potent and rare that it is unclear exactly how many might exist, as there are many rumors and theories that all gems that exist are currently in the possession of the Divine Family Sky Child, or perhaps within the Divine Arsenal as a whole. It is known that a singular ability of a full gem of Temporsis is that it can allow passage into the plane of Temporsis, the very essence of the timelines themselves. This alone explains why any such gems would be of the highest priority of those gods that are charged with the defense of the realms and its timelines. And for the last of the celestial elements, that of Christ, I must report that the very reality we are discussing, with its stars and planets, nebulas and asteroids, all of it is the physical manifestation of Christ, as that is what reality itself is. The result of the interactions of the matter and energies of the other three celestial forces, and thus stable and equally reactive to each. With this very brief overview of the physical manifestations of the celestial elements at its end, I hope you have an understanding of how these materials function and why they are so highly prized and valued. Until you once more find your way to the library, my perceptive patrons, allow me to thank you for your time and your intention. Thank you. Now, by the 9 and 4, be well, take care of yourselves and each other.